Similarly, animal behaviors also consist of several parts which are all needed for the animal to engage in fruitive action. The question is, where do these intricate behavior programs come from? Is it possible that these behavior chains have evolved step by step in a long period of time? The problem gets even more complicated when we start discussing complex behavioral matrices where more than one animals are involved. As we have seen in the example of the cash dispenser, there are some effective procedures that are advantageous only when each of their steps are taken. It seems that such irreducible programs are also to be found in the set of instincts and behavior patterns of different species. Encountering the above examples of irreducible structure, we may be inclined to think that the behavioral schemes of species have always been in the hands of the individuals of the species in their complete present-day form. If this is so, then these behavioral mechanisms can be considered as design software in charge of the species-specific control of animal behavior. The mental software that consists of several interconnected sub-programs, none of which results in useful behavior in itself, can most reasonably be attributed to the programming activity of a higher intelligence. Why is this the most likely answer? During the everyday life of our modern age, we regularly witness that by intelligent activity, design, computer programs controlling complex processes can be made. But the idea that matter itself and the selection of genetic mutations could make such programs has remained up to the present time a bold assumption of materialist philosophy, not supported by any empirical evidence. The Gaudiya Vaishnava, Krishna follower tradition of Hinduism, considers species as designed and created entities. The Puranas describe the creation of living beings as a multi-stage process. The material world is manifested by the different forms of Vishnu, according to the will and original plan of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Person. In charge of supervising the creation process within the spherical universes is Brahma, who receives the blueprints of the species from Vishnu. In the appearance of the different living entities, the demigods, devas, and the progenitors, Prajapatis, play a key role, populating the planets of the universes with a multitude of species. The Vaishnava Vedanta describes life, the soul, as a separate substance from matter. As eternal, conscious, non-material individuals, the living entities get into different plant, animal, and human-like biological bodies, pervading them with their consciousness and wearing and moving them as clothes. It is said in widely known Bhagavad Gita, the living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, tongue, and nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. Thus, the transcendental living entities, also called jivas, that lives in the material world, possess an additional subtle covering besides their flesh and blood body. This subtle body is composed of mind, intelligence, and ego. This subtle mind accommodates the manifestation of thought, emotion, and will. From Vedic perspective, our empirical and experimental knowledge may lead us to the conclusion that species-specific behavior forms are coded as a kind of mental program in the subtle body of the living beings. The jiva is the prisoner of the material world, and the manifestation of their imprisonment is that in each of their life forms they are under control in their activities of eating, defending, mating, and rearing. At the same time, plants and animals are not just biological robots whose existence is limited to having some software running in them. Living entities are non-material sparks of consciousness whose manifestation is controlled by the behavior programs related to the particular species the living entity is born into. Generally speaking, the higher position a living entity has taxonomically, the more liberated their consciousness becomes, the more open their software becomes, the more their overpowering inborn instincts give way to learning processes, and the more the restraint imposed upon the jiva of the life of the jiva loosen. The quantum leap of consciousness is, of course, from animal to human. While humans have their drives to provide for the bare necessities of life, in human existence, man is eligible to engage in a wide range of communication and to foster culture due to the intellectual skills of their consciousness. Scripture enjoins man to ultimately use their unique faculties to acquire knowledge and to search for and understand the absolute truth. According to the scripture-based Vaishnava outlook on life, the specific animal instincts software originates from the Supreme Person, just like the blueprints of biological forms do. Internationally renowned A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the most successful translator and commentator of Vedic literature, succinctly sums up this approach. The construction of dwelling place, it is known even to the birds and the beasts. The mouse also knows how to live within the earth. They make a hole according to their capacity. The birds also. They make the nest also to live comfortably. Ants also. So this intelligence is there. God has given that intelligence. In the light of the above-mentioned highly structured instinct systems, we cannot simply shrug off the statement about animal behaviors having a divine origin as a naive religious approach. Rather, it seems to be an explanation most in accordance with empirical observations and logic. A more detailed study of the philosophy of Vedic scriptures and of the results of ethological experiments can help provide a more elaborate further description of this non-reductionist approach to instincts. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Please visit our webpage www.vedicscience.eu. Thank you very much.